Kendrick Lamar dropped a bomb when he released a song known as Meet the Grams. Not only did he disrespect Drake in every aspect, including his character and what he accomplished in the culture, but also his alarming allegations when it comes to minors. He pretty much cooked the fuck out of this nigga Drake, but that had me thinking, when it comes to anime characters, there are characters that have done worse than Drake, or even Epstein, but due to Japan's acceptance to that weird shit, it often gets overlooked. So for today, I'll be going down a list of anime characters that would definitely be signed to Drake's OVO, if you know what I mean. Hunter x Hunter. Hisoka from the jump ever since the latter half of the Hunter exam arc has been a very questionable character, but as the story progresses, this nigga goes from being very questionable to a straight up creep. You think Drake saying I miss you to a 14-year-old Millie Bobby Brown was bad, or dancing with a 17-year-old Kylie Jenner is crazy? How about literally staring at a 12-year-old
weird
butt?
buddy.
Not one, but two.
You're weird.
And calling them his prey, or getting off to getting beat up by literal minors during the tournament.
Can't escape! I'll go forward!
Go.
And I'm not exaggerating, this nigga literally said that. These words was coming out of his mouth. This nigga was getting turned on. And the thing is, Hisoka fans can't even say nothing to defend this. These scenes are absolutely absurd. I don't care what his backstory is, or that he likes strong people, or whatever cope. You don't see this nigga doing this to anybody else but the only two kids in the fucking show. You ain't seen him do this shit to Kurapika or Leorio, or you ain't seen him do it. This nigga is done. He's done, bro. Honorable mention is Palm from Hunter x Hunter. And yes, Palm is fucking wild too, but most of the time she's harmless unless you try to get in the way of her dating a little ass boy, and would kill you if you get in the way of that. Actually, a lot of women in this verse are wild. Gon said himself that this isn't the first time that something like this has happened to him. That's actually wild. These two are pretty crazy, but at least they never did anything physical to their victims, unlike Misato from Evangelion. Man, I hate to do this to you, Misato. I hate to do this, because I am an avid Eva defender. Everybody always hates on this show. The show was really good for a while, but end of Eva, it had a lot of problems. It really did. Misato from Eva is a very interesting character to me. Not only does she drive a lot of the plots in a story, but also influences and overall positively impacts the overall story. And her character fits the theme of Eva the best, in my opinion, besides Senji. And her actions, however, almost all the time has positive effects on characters she interacts with, even though at times she can be very rash or weird with how she handles her problems or other problems around her. And this instance is one of them. Before I explain what she did, it's better to receive context for who she did it with and why this is weird to me. Misato the Senji is practically his adoptive mother. She cared for him, made sure he's prepared for school, taught him lessons about life, and made him gain confidence. Throughout the story, she did what Senji's parents was supposed to do for their child, and in my opinion, she's leagues above Senji's actual parents. And in an instance where Senji needed her help once again, she did something that even made me confused, more confused than the first scene of the movie.
You're weird, buddy. You're weird.
That was a grown-up kiss. We'll do the rest when you get back.
Misato would kiss Senji, and basically she would say that if they made it out alive, she would do the deed with him. For context, Nerve was getting invaded by the government, and everybody that was seen was getting killed on sight, and she was trying to encourage Senji to basically get on his Eva so that they can fight against the government. Senji was no longer inspired. He was lifeless, and he wasn't trying to do nothing towards that end. And usually what Misato would do would give Senji inspiration. And I don't know how she viewed this as inspiration, but it did end up working. But it was a very weird approach. It was a very weird approach. And don't get me wrong, throughout the story of earlier Eva, there has been instances of her lightly flirting with Senji and teasing him. And I get Misato feels as if her only way of getting through to people is physical affection, but seriously, is this not a head turner for a lot of Eva fans? As I said earlier, she is Senji's mom in a way, and his mom reassured him through an invitation of intimacy, and how tragic it is. It's still weird considering she's 10 or more years older than Senji, but it's still tragic. And I get where they were going with it because, you know, Eva has a lot of symbolism, but she still got to go on this list. That shit was fucking weird. Seven Deadly Sins was a very popular anime into the train wreck of the past 2 seasons, and its terrible animation giving it an infamous name, Seven Deadly Frames. Besides the assassination of the series, I have always had a serious issue with the series. One of my issues being that majority of the ships with the cast has been borderline the straight up unforgiving levels of weirdness. Like Drake and Teenage SZA level of weirdness, or worse. Some of them like King are forgivable since their counterparts are similar ages, but just look how incredibly young they look. Like, which is weird. King and Bond's love interests both look damn near like little kids when they first met, which is fucking weird, but at least their ages was of age or thousands of years old. Unlike Meliodas, who literally gropes a 16-year-old girl throughout the beginning of the series. And you can say she's an angel and reincarnated, but it doesn't really matter, nigga. Elizabeth, when she first met Meliodas, wasn't even awakened, so she was presumed a 16-year-old girl, and this nigga couldn't keep his hands off of her. She's a whole victim. Y'all niggas is just weird. Honorable mentions goes to Makima. Actually, pretty much every love interest Denji has been with in Chainsaw Man, including Makima, Bomb Girl, and Himino. Pretty much besides Asha, the rest of them are groomers, and did something to Denji for an agenda using his sexual thirst. I love you, Asa and Kobimi. Actually, I need to do more Chainsaw Man videos. If you haven't read the manga, you should really read it, my nigga. And now on to the last one. This last one I actually didn't mind until I seen how old the other one was compared to the other. Everyone knows One Piece and has gotten at least past pre-time skip if they know who Boa Hancock is. Ever since Amazon Lily, Boa has had an obvious crush on Luffy and has attempted to put Luffy in situations that will cause him to confess to her relentlessly. And even though I did ship it at first, bro, why didn't I realize Boa was damn near 29 years old pre-time skip and Luffy was 17? She was trying to risk it all. Even though after time skip I really wouldn't care, but she was trying to get this young boy to marry her even before that. And I don't like to say this because I like Boa, but Boa, you gotta get signed to OVO, my shorty. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. Those are the ones that was on the top of my head. I low-key freestyled most of this. I just went and wrote down most of the stuff that, you know, was in my head. If you have any more ideas or you want me to do a part 2, like and subscribe. I'm almost at 900, and let's get it.